This is Module 4, Session 5, Functional Routines. Functional routines are the routine activities that are necessary for daily living and for establishing quality of life. Developing independence with functional routines is important for all students, not just students that need specialized instruction. The subcategories of ARIS's functional routines content category includes self-care and healthy habits, such as hand washing, classroom routines, like circle, arrival, and dismissal, and community life, which includes things like understanding safety signs and community helper functions. In the Functional Routines Lessons training, ARIS introduced the functional routines lessons that are necessary in a student's program from day one. The arrival routine, for example, will begin before the student has even stepped foot into the classroom. Some early functional routines lessons will initially be a part of the daily program for every student who is still working on basic self-help skills. These lessons include restroom use, snack time, washing hands, arrival, and departure. So what does it mean to have these lessons as part of every student's daily routine? The student's folder, binder, or other record-keeping system should include a section for each of these 5 basic lessons. In order to ensure that students are progressing and learning these key skills, make sure that all staff are consistent in how they teach these skills, are consistent in the data keeping, and encouraging independence by feeding prompts as the students progress. As a student becomes successful in these 5 basic lessons, it will become less important to keep daily data. However, it's still a good idea to regularly revisit these critical daily activities. Note in their records every few weeks if things are still going well, and be careful to notice any abnormalities or challenges in case you need to revisit the formal lessons. To help parents teach these important skills at home, home communication sheets should also be shared with families regularly for these lessons, particularly for restroom use and hand washing. Other lessons which are going to be part of a student's regular program relate to classroom routines like following a schedule and transitioning between activities and locations. It is important to isolate these individual routines to ensure that difficulty understanding them doesn't interfere with other learning in their daily schedule. For example, if a student is overwhelmed by the transition between lunch and art time, they may not be able to participate in the art lesson. This isn't because they don't understand the art lesson, but because they struggle with the transition. By practicing transitions as its own lesson, you can help the student get more comfortable with the changes between activities or environments so they are ready to learn after a transition happens. As discussed in Module 2, the lesson folders for the functional routines lessons break each task down into small, manageable pieces, which are included in the lesson progression section. However, as a student and classroom needs may differ, it is important to understand the process by which skills, tasks, and routines can be simplified to increase success. ARIS refers to this process as task analysis, and you can find more information on conducting a task analysis in the implementation guide starting on page 116. All of the community life subcategory lessons and a few self-care and healthy habits and classroom routines lessons are found in the Stage 2 lesson box. These lessons cover a variety of skills, such as learning what objects you use for specific functions and routines, choosing healthy foods, and learning to be safe in your community. These important routines are the building blocks to success for independent living. Each of these lessons requires various prerequisites from outside the functional routines content category. For example, identification of safety signs requires being able to identify basic picture cards, a skill taught in the language category. Make sure that the student has mastered all of these preliminary skills before introducing each of the more advanced lessons. Building strong functional routines is critical to success in school and in life. When a student has learned these skills, they are much more likely to be successful learning alongside their peers in a less restrictive environment. The next two content categories introduce the early academic skills of reading and writing and math. The ARIS curriculum breaks down these traditional approaches to teaching these lessons into manageable pieces that can be presented to students at their own pace. When you are ready to continue, we'll see you back in the Reading and Writing Readiness module.